Hi, I'm Eloise Arjun and welcome to WorkplaceInfo's Month in Review.
And I'm Ray Welling. August was Safety Month on Workplace Info. Here are some highlights from our coverage this month.
We hope you enjoyed this month's webinar on ergonomics, sitting and safety, which examined the sit-stand debate. The verdict? Stand up, sit less and move more and you will gain health benefits. Research shows if you sit at work, you have a third higher risk of early death than those who stand. But the jury is still out on whether there are productivity gains from using sit-stand workstations. If you missed the webinar, you can watch the video archive by clicking the link at the bottom of your screen.
Fair Work Commission Vice President Joe Catanzariti gave an update this month on bullying claims before the Fair Work Commission, revealing that there have been 348 applications lodged in the first 6 months. Most claims relate to alleged bullying by either co-workers or managers and supervisors. Almost half of these were resolved, with 39% withdrawn and 14% dismissed. Many claims were rejected because the employee had either resigned or been terminated. This meant the threat of future bullying no longer existed, so the bullying claim could not proceed.
The Federal Employment Minister Eric Abetz was forced to deny the government has plans to change the way penalty rates are set, saying the role will remain with the Fair Work Commission. The Commission has this month announced the timetable for the 4-yearly review of modern awards, with the penalty rates issue to be heard last. The Commission will also be dealing with the ACTU's claim for modern awards to allow annual leave loading to be paid out on termination. Employer groups are resisting the claim.
The ACT Legislative Assembly this month passed legislation to declare Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day as official public holidays. ACT workers who are rostered to work on those days will now be eligible to receive public holiday loading, and will also have the right to reasonably refuse to work on those days if the actual holidays fall on a weekend. And now let's go to our legal reporter, John Golden, for a look at some of the most important recent cases in the courts.
John, what have you got for us this month?
Actually, this month there are 2 cases, both relating to change of employment conditions during the course of an employment contract. In the first case, the South Australian Supreme Court heard a matter from a senior public servant who argued that damages were appropriate when his job was changed quite dramatically. His salary was kept the same, but the conditions relating to his work were changed quite dramatically, as said. He argued he was entitled to damages. The Supreme Court said, no, you're not. And the reason they said that was the contract provided for some flexibility with the employer to change his conditions of employment. In the second case, the National Australia Bank was sued by a senior stockbroker, arguing that redundancy was appropriate, redundancy pay was appropriate. Again, he argued that his job had changed from that originally contracted with him. However, the Fair Work Commission looked at the situation and said, no, you don't get redundancy pay. And the simple reason is that the job was actually better, the second job was better than the one he was originally contracted to do. Now, from the employer's point of view, these quite costly litigation exercises could be avoided simply by having a proper and accurate provision in the contract of employment, allowing for flexibility. And that is a critical issue to avoid longer term issues down the track when these matters have to be, or seemingly have to be, litigated. Thank you.
Thanks for that, John. Our most popular story this month was 11 signs that you need to get out of HR. Is there a message in there somewhere for HR practitioners?
Could be, Ray. I wonder what the HR turnover stats are in Australia. That's all for this month. Next month we'll be focusing on developing and retaining staff. See you again next month.